In Full Zoom is presented by Calvo Enterprises, Inc. and IT&E.
Good day, everyone, and welcome to another edition of In Full Zoom. I'm Nestor Licanto, and it's my great pleasure to welcome on this week's show representatives of the Sisters of Mercy who are here to talk about the 70th anniversary of the Infant of Prague Nursery. And let me introduce them first. We have Sister Marian Arroyo, Mother Superior, Sister Bridget Paris, and Erencia Cypueric. Did I get that right, Sister?
Cypueric, yes.
All right, thank you very much. All right, so as I mentioned, we're here to talk about an upcoming major celebration. But before we get to that, I wanted to ask you guys to tell us a little bit more about the nursery itself and its history. And let me start with you, Sister Marian. First of all, why the Infant of Prague? Where did that name come from?
Maybe Sister Bridget might be able to tell you about the why Infant of Prague. I was one of the young ones who came in maybe 2 or 3 years after it was established, and I came in as a baby. So maybe I'm going to pass that on to Sister Bridget.
All right, Sister Bridget, please.
Good morning. Yeah, at that particular time, because the nursery was open even before I became one. But I was, first of all, I was part of that maybe four years later. But the infant, because of the fact that we are to take care of little boys and girls, I guess the superior at that particular time thought that was the best patron or saint to name after that daycare, Infant of Prague Nursery. And I know it started since 1950. And of course, we were reaching out to parents that are really trying to survive, to find jobs. And of course, parents, one person working is not enough to sustain the whole family. So then mothers do have their own professional, training or education, and they have to reach out to education because that's what we have to build up at that particular time, is to build up our education system, of course, the government, and also our stores, the commercial stores and whatever we need, because they're very minimal. Guam is at that particular time is not what it is now. It's sure very different. When you talk about the children also at that particular time is very different now. I see that. So the intention of that really was for us to be of service to mothers, to be compassionate to mothers, to be loving and to show forth whatever is the greatest to give to the human race. And that's what we have a strong passion to help one another at that time after the war.
And I do want to add on to that, Sister Bridget, if I may,
yeah, sure.
that we're also celebrating our 75th anniversary, having been established here on Guam, the Sisters of Mercy, and we came right after the war at the request of Bishop Baumgardner, and so we came in 1946, and so we have a year celebration of our 75th. Now, the Infant of Prague is a sponsored ministry of the Sisters of Mercy. We actually own, we sponsor the institution, and it really was, as Sister Bridget said, it was in compassionate, the parents at the time who probably both had to work, to help rebuild the island. Now, I would like to share a little bit about myself. And I said, I guess I was a little caught by surprise that why was it named Infant of Prague? I think because of the infant, and the miracles that have come forth from the infant of Jesus, and how close our children are to that. When I first came on board, it was probably, I was born in 1954. Yes, you can do the math on that. And so I think both my parents were working. My mother was principal at PD Elementary School, and my father was working at Navy. And I came far. I was like the last one of the Mohegans. I followed 6 brothers, and I came in kind of late, so everybody was up and about. Not necessarily a whole bunch of people to take care of me, but maybe my Auntie Fina, but it was not so much that there was nobody to take care of me, but it was that because had established infant and Prague and kindergarten, they time, or the parents at the time, but of course my mother, at being the educator, she thought it would be really wonderful to have the sisters take care of the young. And so I was talking to my brother, Monsignor Beebe, and he said, well, the reason why Mom really wanted you to go was so that you would be immersed in the faith. And I was really very touched by that. I just thought, wow, they were very serious about their children being immersed in the faith.
Yeah, and I believe Eric shared a story about your family history with the infant of Prague. Can you want to share that?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, Polly Eric shared a story about your family history with that. You want to explain that?
Bridge?
Actually, I started working in 1955 for the Infant of Prague Nursery, not knowing that Sister Marion was in the baby room.
That's the story.
Story. I didn't in the baby room because I was taking care of 2-year-old. And then finally I was moved from 2-year-old to teach kindergarten. And then that's when I had her. I had her in kindergarten class, not knowing that was Sister Marion.
Yes, so that was the beginning of the baby.
Yeah.
The parents really wanted to have, oh my gosh, they trusted this. They had confidence in the sisters, they were comforted that their children would be raised with loving care. And I think that's what we have on our logo there, rooted in mercy and loving care.
Loving care.
Showing our little ones for compassionate leadership. When you look at a lot of the leaders today, a number of them,
yes,
a great number of them went through Infant of Prague, and so we really do have quite a legacy.
In Full Zoom is presented by Calvo Enterprises Inc. and IT&E. GU Self-Storage, conveniently located near the Harmon McDonald's. We offer affordable rates, online payments, and auto bill pay for your convenience. Plus gate access daily from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Call us today at 648-7867 for more information. In Full Zoom is presented by Calvo Enterprises Inc. and IT&E.
I'm going to ask you guys a little bit more about that and the who's who of the graduates, if you will, of the Infant of Prague. But let me bring in Sister Rencha to the conversation. So you're the current administrator, Sister. Tell us a bit about how the nursery is these days.
We're striving. We're of course we went through COVID. That was a lot of work that added to to the load that we do here at Infant of Prague. We're struggling, the enrollment is a bit down, but we're still going. God see us through this. We went through COVID. I still have people calling in, because I have the babies. I have 3-month-old babies up to kindergarten. So I still have people calling in if I have, and I feel bad because sometimes I don't have any more rooms and I want to accommodate, with the COVID, we just went through it. I remember we have to have a certain amount of kids. not to have too many because of social distancing. And I minister to a fragile age here, but so far we're good. So far so good. God is seeing us through. I still have kids here that I minister to. I won't do all this without my staff, wonderful ladies. Some of them have been here 30 years in the ministry. I just came on board 4 years. This is my 4th year. I remember Sister Marianne is my leader, and she called me 3 times. Can you come back and minister at Infant of Brook? And I say, I don't want, I already finished, but we are mindful of where we are called to serve. We are needed. So I keep my vows of service and love to God's people. But Infant of Brook, we're going so far so good. We continue. Many people think that we're just babysitters, but our job is very important. We heard it from somewhere that we are brain developers. This is the first foundation of their learning, of their development. So we just don't change diapers and babysitting, but we do a lot of things that help them on their way with their developmental stages, getting them ready for the school age. So we're doing a good job, a good ministry with them, forming them, getting them ready, learning whatever they need in their different developmental stages. So 70 years is a lot. I'm just adding on 4 years now, but it's a blessing. It's a long day, I will say that, long day from morning until mom and dad gets off work. We're still here. I'm always the first one in and last one out of the building. So this is how dedicated we are to the ministry of serving the needs of our little ones, the needs of parents who need to go to work to make their ends meet. So far, so good.
Absolutely. Sister Bridget, you are heading up the anniversary celebration. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, we are preparing for the liturgy. We have the liturgy at the Organic Cathedral Basilica at 9:30 Mass. And then we have a brunch following at the Hyatt Regency. And we do have a ticket, that to get in, of course. And it's just very overwhelming though right now because of, I'm sure, and when people watch this, they'll be going high wire because there's so many of them that are nursery. So we're just fingers that everything will run well, and with the blessings of Almighty God for servicing our people at this particular time, way back and now. So it's a tremendous blessing, really, honestly, for me, especially for me, because I'm the oldest one in this group. That have gone through all this. I've been in that nursery, I would say 3 times, going in and out, working here and there, So I was there in the 50s, 60s, 70s. Then I went work somewhere else, then came back on the 80s. And of course, right now I am not working. I'm glued into the archival work. But the institution, I mean, the this is not a fundraising, but it's a celebration for the children that we have cared in the past, to come and share their love stories, whatever, walking down the lane, or funny blessings, whatever they come up with to share. So be a very meaningful, heart fulfilling actually for us, knowing that there's so many. I can enumerate some of them. Mr. Marion is one of them.
Yeah.
And we have the Lieutenant Governor is one of them.
Yeah. I was going to ask you guys to maybe each drop about 4 or 5 different names so that they'll show up, right? So let
Yes,
me go ahead, Sister Bridget. Give me
Yes,
some
yes,
4 or 5 names
we
of our
are.
prominent
I
local.
told some of them already, and they said, "Oh, I want my stories," because they have funny stories, you know. I
Yeah.
mean, we do have our own stories to tell too. But you know, there's a lot. They're excited. Uh, Amanda Shelton would love to tell her story too because she was there. Sunny Ada is one of them. And when I went to Sunny Ada, I can see the tears in his. But of course, he remembered very clearly the hill to say the rosary and pray and crown me. That came out from his mouth. That hit me because that we brought faith to those kids, no matter what. And there's it's for him is outdoor. Thank God it didn't rain at that particular time. So a lot of this really, you know, brought back good memories. And we are these individuals. They were men and women um, helping out in the community, the greater. You know, the like for example, Mark Forbes was there. I mean, I remembered Mark, Anne Marie Mooney, Lolling Souder, Kathy Calvo. There's quite a number. I could go down the list, and but you know we're gonna for sure.
All right.
In Full Zoom is presented by Calvo Enterprises Inc. and IT&E. GU Self Storage, conveniently located near the Harmon McDonald's. We offer affordable rates, online payments, and auto bill pay for your convenience. Plus gate access daily from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Call us today at 648-7867 for more information. In Full Zoom is presented by Calvo Enterprises Inc. and IT&E.
Sister Mary, this is fun. Keep dropping some names. And I'm sure they were all very well-behaved babies,
Oh
right?
yes, Patrick Palomo.
Sabino Flores was one of my classmates. And
Carmen
I
Calvo.
do want to say that, it is amazing in terms of her memory. I mean, like so many things as a young kid, I would not have remembered that. But she reminded me of the band, the instrument band. And she would photos and say, well, there you are. This is the birthday. And she could name all these kids. And I'm like, oh my God. Textbook, a history book. It's amazing. And I think she's well placed in our archives for the sisters. She's got the resources that she needs to just, pull out for our memory lane. But I want to thank Sister Bridget for her work, and of course Sister Erencia for her ongoing work with our children.
I understand Juan Flores also, the Calfos,
Yes.
the Torreses. I just heard, I'm only 4 years in the ministry, but I heard from you sisters that, yeah.
And Sister Erencia, I'm sure that a lot of the children who went to the Infant of Prague nursery are now parents themselves and brought their children to the.
I'm telling you, many
tell me
of them
who
will
those
walk
are.
in. Yes. Oh gosh, I cannot really remember. Michael, what's his name? Michael Bautista. He just registered his daughter, and he says, "Sister," I said, "I remember you because when I first entered the community, I started. They put me here for training. So I said, you're the Aquaquat, the 3-year-old little boy with the haircut." So I have a lot of parents who have been here themselves. Of course, there are new ones that's registered. I have grandparents who come in and say, my child was here, I was here. So it's like a continuation of family tradition that they come back. They trust us to come back here and enroll their kids because they have been here. And like I said, many of them will call on the phone and, I said, I'm sorry, but I don't have any more room for that age. Sister, we have been going through Infant of Prague, and so many of them are parents themselves here. They're grandparents of Infant of Prague that I just met them, now. But there were some that I remember from my time when I was a postulant, transgender the community. Yes.
And Sister Bridget, you're raising your hand. I think you've got a whole
Actually,
lot of history of grandparents to parents.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago, I went to be with Sister Reza to meet for something else. And I met this parent, came in to register somebody. And I said, "Oh, what's your name?" And of course, she gave me her name. I forgot the first name, but Augustine is the last name. And she said, "I'm here to register my great-granddaughter." I said, "Great-granddaughter." Just imagine, that means she herself put her daughter there, then her daughter's daughter, and the daughter's daughter. And I looked at her and I said, "How old are you?" Because for me, I would be thinking maybe 80 some or 90, you know. Um, and I'm amazed that she was even carrying a photo of the baby, her child that she left there, that she put, for our care. And then she took out a picture of her daughter and the daughter's daughter. So that's the third generation. I mean, I was touched that particular day. I was teary actually because to meet somebody, I was, tasked to do this celebration, but I was meeting with Sister. I went up there to get something. And then lo and behold, the door rang and she came in and I introduced, of course, myself, and then I asked her name. And that's how I found out that we are on our third generation. I said, "Oh my gosh, that's amazing."
It is amazing. Sister Marion, you guys must be doing something right? What is it? What's the secret?
Well, I think it's God's gift, and just our attentiveness to the needs of our people, and then just finding ways to sustain the ministry. I think that's always the fundraising, certainly the relationships that we have with our parents and all who support Infant of Prague. We just continue with that. And I think the kids are so grateful, and they grow up to be, adults and, citizens, of our society, and they recognize where this came from. And it's like the book says, everything I learned about life, I learned at kindergarten. I mean, I don't know, but I mean, you can probably go back to some of those basic skills that, that were taught and learned. And I'm just amazed, when I look at when we started, and that was almost right after the war. We were the first daycare, Catholic daycare, and they were saying, yeah, the first daycare, but I don't want to, I don't want to assume. So I'm saying we could say that we were the first Catholic daycare on the island, and we're still ministering.
And Sister Rencha, let me ask you to weigh in on that, and we'll wind up with Sister Bridget. But Sister Rencha, that mission that Sister Marion just spoke of is true then as it is today, yes?
Yes, it is. And we're not only teaching them, I will personally speaking for myself, they taught me a lot about life, patience and all that. So I think that's what many parents were also looking at in our Catholic faith, forming them in the Catholic education and all that. But they taught us a lot. When I first came on board, I was like, oh boy, but it's blessings in abundance blessings upon our ministry and us who are ministering to the little ones here. I truly learn a lot from the kids, and the parents also. And I become to very, appreciate respecting them for who they are and the trust that they have in us. Like I said earlier, we won't do it without our dedicated staff. Without them, our ministry won't be where we are now because of them. But I do learn a lot from the little ones and their parents. Just the relationship, yes. But it is a blessing, like I said, praises and blessings. I still have little ones that just started It's a lot of crying when they first started. You hear a lot of crying. Sometimes, cry almost for mommy and daddy, but they get used to it and they're fine on their way. So we're okay.
In Full Zoom is presented by Calvo Enterprises Inc. and IT&E. GU Self-Storage, conveniently located near the Harmon McDonald's. We offer affordable rates, online payments, and auto bill pay for your convenience. Plus gate access daily from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Call us today at 648-7867 for more information. In Full Zoom is presented by Calvo Enterprises Inc. and IT&E.
And Sister Bridget, let's wind up with you. You'll have the last word. Tell us what this event means to you. What does 70 years anniversary means to you, and just invite folks to participate.
Actually, it's a lot of blessings in our lives as mercies. That's a great blessing to look beyond and go. I mean, look at our island, and we know that these are some of the individuals that really have shared. The parents have shared the love for us to share with their children. But just imagine from 7 to 5, that's 50 hours a week to care for children. And that experience actually is a joyful one, because many times that when you see parents dropping their kids, they're running in. Sometimes they don't want to go home. I said, no, it's time for mommy. So there's always, when you reflect back, really, I mean, you can only say that God is so good. Our Blessed Mother, the Infant of Prague, has been a blessing for all of us, for all our parents that we have taken care of. Or we don't take and we meet them somewhere else. And we are thankful, very, very thankful for this ministry, because we know that we have built up our community, our island, our faith, and we are very grateful to that. And we are looking forward for this celebration because we do meet once in a while with them out in the street, but this one come home after so many years, coming home to share one more time our stories. And I know I'm teary right now, emotional, but there's a great joy. Wonderful experiences, and I'm thankful for all the graces. And we don't accidents, that will find and blessings in all the people that we government entities and other businesses. They've been very grateful too. That's the blessing that we have.
And when is and Sister, when is the event, and how can
September
folks go?
25th, 9:30 Mass at Agana Cathedral, and then Regency from 11 to 2. So the Mass, we start out with a Mass, a blessing, and then of course the brunch at a Hyatt Hotel.
Right. I'm sure you're going to have an overflow. Yeah, you're going to have an overflowing crowd there. I think so many people will want to show up and just share their stories, and thank you guys for all that you've done for them and their families throughout the years. Thank you so much. Sister Marion, go ahead, Sister Marion.
Yeah, I just want to call out, that we are also we have tickets for the brunch, and the tickets are $70 for adults, and then for children it's $30. It's from 6 to 12, $6 years old.
Yeah.
Okay, so again, we have Mass on the 25th of September, 9:30 at the Cathedral Basilica, followed by a brunch at the Hyatt from 11 to 2. Tickets are, we have tickets that are out, but we also, you can also purchase a ticket by Eventbrite. Okay, we were able to figure that out. So Eventbrite, you can purchase that, and we need to have those tickets sold by August 31st. We need to know how many people are coming. So this is kind of a call out for, invitations, please, support Infant of Prague. Part of the proceeds will go for, of course, the brunch, but it would also go directly to the need Prague.
Yeah.
So is that good enough? I mean, we do have,
Yeah.
we do have
I have a feeling you're not going to have any problem selling this event out.
So we have people who are coming. I mean, we have a grand prize. We're going to have a raffle, and so we will also have a grand prize yet to be announced.
Yeah, I think you had them at Infant of Prague's 70th anniversary celebration. All right.
Okay, good.
Unfortunately, we're out of time.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sister
Thank you
Mary,
very
Sister
much.
Bridget, and Sister Arantia, talking about the 70th anniversary of the Infant of Prague Nursery. Thank you for joining us. I'm Nestor Licanto.
Thank you
We'll
so
see you
much
again next week on In Full Zoom.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for having
Yes.
us.
God bless.
God bless.
God bless.
Thank you.
Care.
Adios.
In Full Zoom is presented by Calvo Enterprises Inc. and IT&E.